Well, good Monday morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. This is Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, got refreshed, spent some time with your lovely family, and are ready to get back out in this world and do your thing. Somebody said something funny years ago and it made me laugh. They said, it's not Monday that sucks, it's probably your life. So if you don't like Mondays, you might want to consider that. I laughed. I thought that was pretty funny. It's not Monday that sucks, maybe it's your life. And you have the opportunity to change it, okay? Jim Rohn says for things to change, you got to change. For things to get better, you got to get better. So let's begin this discourse, and I will tell you the foundation of the majority of the videos that I produce come from a very deep and personal place in my personal life that has come from a breakthrough that I have had over the years in doing the very best that I can daily to become all that God created me to be, so I can help millions of others to do the same through intentional personal growth and development. And many times I leave this part out with the personal growth and development. A huge part of personal growth and personal development for your growth comes from you sacrificing and suffering and saying no to a lot of different things. It's not just a growth trajectory. It is like someone going up Mount Everest. At some point, you gotta leave the stuff behind. You gotta let the baggage go so you can move forward. So this morning in particular comes from how I picked myself up just last night and yesterday. And it's my hope that what I experienced yesterday will be a blessing for you if you have ever felt like a failure. Well, first and foremost, let me say this. I am a father of 7 children. I still have 5 of my children in my household. And 4 of them are teenagers, and 1 acts like a teenager, the youngest. Now, let's begin with the idea of failure first and foremost, okay? Zig Ziglar, my mentor, said it best. Failure is an event, it's not a person. Failure is an event, it's not a person, is what Zig Ziglar said. So the first understanding that will give you the opportunity to move forward more quickly and not get stuck in a depression or being down or being broken for so long that it begins to affect other areas of your life is recognizing that failure is not you. You are not a failure. You may have gotten results that you didn't want through choices that you have made that others may label as failure. Let's distinguish it. Getting results you don't want is not an accusation on your character. You are not a failure. I said it in my video yesterday. Do you know how much of a winner you are? If you're watching this video right now, get this. You are more of a winner than an Olympic gold medal athlete. And do you want to know how? I'll tell you how. Because they just compete with a few people. You competed with literally millions of sperm to get to that egg first. And you, sir, you, ma'am, won. You entered this life the winner, beating out millions of other sperm to get to the egg. So not only are you not a failure as a person, you're pretty spectacular overall. You winner, you. So first, let's separate the feelings that are accompanied with identifying myself as a failure versus the ability to pull yourself out of that conversation into a conversation of feedback. So with teens in my house, here's what I have discovered from all the books that I have read. There is a frontal lobe in the part of the brain that deals with recognition of consequences for certain actions or activities. That is not developed in your teenagers. It ain't even working. So you as a parent have the privilege of being the frontal lobe by discussing the consequences of certain choices and decisions. It's why insurance company charge so much for boys who drive, because the risk-taking factor is off the hook. Not because they're crazy, they're just the frontal lobe ain't working to tell them, Junior, if you do that, you're gonna wind up in jail, boy. You're gonna do something stupid. Somebody's gonna get hurt. They don't even see that. They just go into the moment as a general rule of thumb, okay? So this frontal lobe is not developed. So we have to recognize something. birthed in this yesterday, many times I have the privilege of being the responsible party for anything and everything going on in our world. And I'm immediately hit with the feelings that I am a failure. I am a failure. I have failed my kids. I've failed my family. I can change the world and I can touch lives on a daily basis. There ain't nobody in here paying attention to anything I have to say. And I immediately separate two things. I say, first of all, I am not a failure as a human being. I'm getting results that I don't want with the current methodology I'm utilizing to connect with my children, to raise them, to impart to them, to teach them. What I'm doing is not working. I'm not getting the results. So I need to change what I am doing in order to produce a different result. Yet that's a logical thought process that you go through, and how quickly you can come out of the emotions is going to be a huge factor, because it's easy to get down, it's easy to get depressed, it's easy to start going internal and questioning yourself and asking why did I do this? Why did I do that? How did I do this? How did I do that? Let me tell you something about the car I'm driving right now. There is a really big windshield and there is a little bitty rear view mirror. You got to look back just enough, like that, just to see, but you can't stay looking back. If I turn around and started looking back right now, I'm going to hit one of these suckers up in here, and it's going to be bad. You're going to wreck yourself if you don't check yourself and make sure that you don't look back for too long. You look back and say, okay, that didn't work. What can I do moving forward? Now, this, my friend, is a secret and a key. It's not about never failing. It is about how quickly you can get back up when the circumstances that you arrived at, which are not what you wanted, manifest. How quickly can you get back on track? How quickly can you pull your emotions together? If you are a professional, you have a responsibility to have a level of self-discipline that enables you to do it at lightning fast speed. Imagine going into the doctor, your child is going to be getting her tonsils removed. The doctor's like, freaking traffic today, man. These people pissed me off. I got run off the road. It was crazy. Man, my anesthesiologist is running late. This is ridiculous. It's time for surgery? It's time? Okay, let's go. Hell no, bro. You ain't going to work on my kid. No. You need to contain that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you imagine going to your dentist to get your teeth pulled and the dentist is blowing their top? She's going nuts and going crazy, angry, ticked off, emotionally jacked up and wrapped up in the moment? No, you ain't gonna be pulling nobody's teeth. As a professional, you have a higher level of responsibility and accountability to get what I'm saying to where you are able to quickly check yourself before you wreck yourself, have the conversation and say, okay, I'm not getting the results that I want. So it's time for me to regroup, and it's time for me to plan, and time for me to get information from outside sources, to get some counseling from somebody that may have done it better than I have, or who may have been there longer than I have. But it's your opportunity for you to seek out wisdom and relationship and accountability and information so that you can try again a different way. Let me go back to Zig Ziglar. Failure is an event, it's not a person. Failure is an event, it's not a person. Failure is an event, it's not a person. You are not a failure. You have circumstances that may currently not reflect what your intended outcome was, and you can go back and fix that stuff. Everything is figureoutable. Isn't that a great word? Everything is figureoutable. And yet if you allow yourself to go into a deep, dark place and beating yourself up, you're going to be looking in the rear view mirror instead of looking out the windshield. Remember, big windshield, little rear view mirror. You look back, whoop, whoop, just like that, just long enough to see what you did. And if part of your sense of failure, as mine came from with, my interaction with my teens, here's what you have to recognize. The wisest information I ever received from a man was a guy named Mike Bickle when it comes to criticisms or people who have something to say about you. And they asked him, how do you respond to being criticized and criticism and people coming at you? And he said this, very powerful. If you just take this away from this video, it's going to bless you. He said, I've come to realize that people bring their own stuff to me when they do. and that I can't take it personally because they're looking through their lenses and that really is their experience. But what I also do is I realize I have just been given free feedback. And what they're saying, if they're passionate enough to put it out there, means there's probably some truth to it. So it gives me a chance to check myself to see if what they are saying could quite frankly be accurate, and it's a blind spot that I just don't see. So ladies and gentlemen, how do you handle failure? First of all, you separate yourself as the failure from the failed outcome, and you recognize failure is just feedback. Failure is simply, that is not the result that I had hoped for, and I have the ability to figure it out and get it right this next time, because everything is figureoutable. If you need a scripture to encourage you, I'm going to encourage you that you go to, it's the one that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who makes me strong. Are you feeling weak? He'll help you be strong, because in your weakness, he's made strong. So let's remember, you're not a failure. You're more amazing than an Olympic athlete who won a gold medal, because they just compete with a few people. You competed with millions of sperm to get to that egg first, and you got to the egg first. You entered this life a champion while you were being knitted and formed together, fearfully and wonderfully made in your mama's womb. You were the winner. You beat out millions of sperm to get here. You're a winner. You're not a loser. Zig Ziglar would say it this way: God don't make no junk. Ladies and gentlemen, failure is simply feedback. It's a circumstance that you did not hope for that you can figure out and do again. You are not a failure. Understand the difference between the two. Pick yourself up, lift up your chin, square back your shoulders, and face the day. Have a great one, guys.